One more time, please.
David had bargained. Don't you have any shame? You think you can barge in with a sound just the same as your last CD? The public can see your washed up old news like the whites on your shoes.
Yeah, my laces had become a little bit frayed, so I explored new places for my words to be laid. As I ran the bases, new sneakers displayed, I found a sound richer than the old ones I made. With my now cushioned feet, I've got a new freshened beat to make you feel the heat of the spikes of my cleat. All the kids think I'm neat. The critics call me a treat. They say my grammar's elite and my swagger complete. Don't call it a comeback, I've been here 30 years. I'm as sharp as a thumbtack and still switching gears. I'm gonna zig where they zag, make and break while I cruise. I got a brand new bag with a new pair of shoes. On a different doofer day, I was making my way down Mulberry Street, thinking about my feet, when I saw a sound which looked real important, so I peered around with my ears just like Horton. Was it a tiny who, or was it a moo? From old Mr. Brown, he's big in my town. I looked at my socks and saw a big fox, but what was I scared of? For I was prepared of all the places I'll go, and the turtles I'll know. So Seuss Me, let's get in the groove. So Seuss Me, you can always improve. Would you, could you, when you're in your car, show your kids some books that take them more far? Give them all of the cats with 500 hats. You know, green eggs and ham made me who I am. So Seuss Me, let's get in the groove. So Seuss Me, we can always improve. You know, I couldn't stop after Hop on Pop was the first book I read, and it stayed with my head. My mind got loose when I read Dr. Seuss. His work had far reaches with tales like the Sneetches. I wish I had more racks for books like the Lorax. And I truly do wish that redfish, bluefish could withstand the pinches that come from the Grinches who act all offended when old books are mended. So Seuss Me, let's get in the groove. So Seuss Me, we can always improve. Yes, some of the pages were old-fashioned stages for drawings and rhymes that were from their time. Some should be shuttered, cause our battle's buttered and our young minds are fluttered by words that are uttered and the best kind of looks that we get from these books. When I was a kid, Dr. Seuss blew my lid. I'll stand for the man, cause I know that he can keep children on track. He's a cat who comes back to stir any mind with the books of his kind. So Seuss me, let's get in the groove. So Seuss me, we can always improve. So Seuss me, let's get in the groove. So Seuss me, we can always improve. Get out of my yard, said the Yankee to the Scot. I don't need a Celsius to tell me it's hot. Our system's airtight and we'll be alright. We're fine and we're good and we're fine with Fahrenheit. Get out of my yard, said the Yankee to the Greek. I'll use my mileage any day of the week. 5,280 feet were just fine. You can keep your kilometers and even take mine. Let us measure retreat from those quaint British Isles. We've been pounding our feet for tons of miles. We gotta inch towards the gram to get with the program. Get out of my yard, said the Yankee to the Turk. I've always known the best way to measure work. Foot, pounds, and ounce force are way better than joules. We're stubborn as mules with the rules in our schools. Get out of my yard, said the Yankee to the Egyptian. What are you trying to make me have a conniption? You don't measure power in terms of a horse? A kilowatt, of course, is an odd use of force. Let us measure retreat from those old British Isles. We've been pounding our feet for tons of miles. We have to inch towards the gram to get with the program. Get out of my yard, said the Yankee to the Swede. Cups and tablespoons are all you could need. I'll take my quarts and pints, you keep your whatever. Just because your system works doesn't mean you're clever. Get out of my yard, said the Yankee to the Dane. Your units of land will drive us all insane. What would you call it, the 100-hectare wood? Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. Let us measure retreat from the British Crown's Isles. We've been pounding our feet for tons of miles. We want to inch towards the gram to get with the program. Get out of my yard, said the Yankee to the Dutch. This is all a canard, it can't mean that much. Just to move the decimal must be infinitesimal. There's nothing that zen about the number 10. Said the world to the Yank, don't be such a crank. It's hardly a mystery, you're on the wrong side of history. This metric system, although you've dissed them, will help your kids pass that tough science class.
So, here we are at the laundromat again. I've seen you here a few times now. Can I tide you over with some humor while we wait here? What's your opinion on love at first sight? What's a fresh and clean guy like you doing in a place like this? I was hoping you could end my cold cycle of loneliness. I'm just here to do my whites, but you're coloring my world tonight. I moved your clothes because I needed the dryer. I'll let you move mine later.
I've got bed sheets just like that at home. Wanna see? Your eyes are way more hypnotizing than staring at any of these washer windows. You've got my knees shaking like an overfilled spin cycle. Are you old school? Because you've got washboard abs. I thought I'd get my laundry done during the day so I could take you out tonight. I wish our lips were permanently pressed together. Please don't hang me out to dry. There's billions and billions of stars in the sky, with trillions of galaxies holding them high. I could spout a quick verse about our whole universe. While it might have potential, it'd be too existential, so I'll set my one focus on our orbital locus. I find it profound that we travel around a burning mass of exploding gas that shines heat and light with a grip that stays tight, keeping all us in sight, with nary a fight from old man gravity and all his depravity that keeps us all tethered and spinning together in a regular way, day after day after day. Looking up, it appears there's about 8 spheres that the sun keeps near, which will jam about here, cause they've all caught my eye, and I can't resist them. I'm a guy that's high on the sweet solar system. There's a real small rock whose elliptical walk is quite close to the sun, and the way that it's spun, Mercury's days are longer than its year. It's roasted ablaze, but it's second tier. When it comes to heat, Venus has it beat. I mean, we already knew Aphrodite was hot, but I'd never get caught warming up to her spot. You'd want to stay clear from that thick atmosphere. Don't get in her car. I'll give you fair warning, she may be the last star that you see in the morning, and she may look like Earth in color and size, but fellas, she's not worth that scalding surprise. You know, they've all caught my eye, and I can't resist them. I'm a guy that's high on the sweet solar system. I've got a funny feeling you've heard of our planet, so while I'm still dealing these verses, I'll can it on the homeworld of ours, so we'll move on to Mars. It's red as a fox hide, but its carbon dioxide is a lot of it more than what I would care for. 95%, my nose would be spent, and if I saw a Martian, it would probably harshen my mellow for sure, but I could endure. I'd be like, oh my, and look up at the sky and see the twirls and the curls of Jupiter's swirls. Cause they've all caught my eye, and I can't resist them. I'm a guy that's high on the sweet solar system. They've all caught my eye, and I can't resist them. I'm a guy that's high on the sweet solar system. Among the gas giants, it doesn't take science to see Jupiter's size would win the first prize. It's got more moons than a busload of goons, and its ugly red spot is kinda hot, but my eyes get brightened when I think about Titan, whose circular pattern spins its way around Saturn. Its iconic shape forms a certain landscape that if we sat down to chat, I'd put a ring on that, cause they've all caught my eye, and I can't resist them. I'm a guy that's high on the sweet solar system. Then you've got Uranus, But just like your anus, it holds methane gas, and it's fall full of mass. When I get to Neptune, I know that the next tune will give me those blues, 'cause Pluto's old news. They've all caught my eye, and I can't resist them. I'm a guy that's high on the sweet solar system. They've all caught my eye, and I can't resist them. I'm a guy that's high on the sweet solar system. They've all caught my eye, and I cannot resist them. I'm a guy that's high on the sweet solar system. Cut it.
Ice whites, baby. Ice whites, baby. I got shoes like a fodder. I don't need a spotter. When I make the lake hotter, jumping into the water. Ice whites, baby. Ice whites, baby. You got a problem? I'll solve it. Turn down my heat with my laces revolving. Ice whites, baby. Ice whites, baby.
My smashing rear end came crashing down and slashed up the fashionist party in town. A fun friend's invite with her parents away led us to an odd night, which I'll share today. A day after Christmas, the Silver Bell Ball was a high school dance downtown St. Paul. My young friend Jen said that when it was done, we could hit her house then for even more fun. So my buddies and I and my new girlfriend Grace all swung on by down to Jennifer's place. We parked down the street, came through the back door, and we all found a seat somewhere on the floor. There were 36 sophomores and seniors from school, and Jennifer said, "There's only one rule. Anything is cool. We could use her dad's cable, but whatever we do, don't break that old table." It was turned on its side, so we could all sit on the wall just aside, so we could all fit. It's a statement of fact, Jen's house was packed. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but there was no drinking. My memory's still hazy, cause that night was crazy, but in a fun act of rudeness, my friend Mount Eunice deliberately tripped me. His leg caught and flipped me. I was knocked down a peg, but the broken wood leg of the table I crushed brought the room to a hush.
Yeah, just a little milk, not too much. I've got some mercurial thoughts about cereal. It depends on my mood when it comes to my food. I could eat 'em and rate 'em, either love 'em or hate 'em. There's the orange Wheaties box, but they taste like rocks. I am one of the fellows who likes his marshmallows. I might reach out my arms for some Lucky Charms, or throw out my nets for some alphabets, but I'm really a man who likes Raisin Bran. But only hardened rebels would get Cocoa Pebbles. Apple Jacks and Smacks taste like candle wax. Like, who writes the checks for those who make checks? I put Frosted Flakes at the bottom of lakes. But we all have that hunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the best of the bunch. I'd even have it for lunch. Sweet perfection to me is the taste you can see. But I've gotta go, so I'll say cheerio.
I've read that everybody poops, though there are many budding groups of pathogens that can give us trouble and have us marching on the dole to the toilet seat, where we pay our dues from the stuff we eat in the form of our poos. Our lab can take these fecal trials and send them off in special vials. They're cultured on an agar plate and analyzed at a later date. Is it C. diff or a parasite? The right container will give us insight. Yeah, let's get it. You want to first be sure to give them a hat for them to collect their this and their that. Maybe throw in some gloves. Just two should do, 'cause nobody loves to scoop their own poo. Clostridium is on the rise, so that's where we might turn our eyes. With a urine cup, we can see what's up, as long as the deuce is liquid or loose. And please, no pee, because you see, even if it's not ample, it'll spoil the sample. The ones with orange caps are the watchful vulture, for when diagnostic maps point us toward a culture. They need to be kept cold before they get old, but the one vial that's green needs an ambient scene. For a slick parasite cannot spare a night away from warm air, so just leave it there. And despite your disgust, you really never can trust a patient to label their stuff, though they're able. Slap their name on the side, and once that it's applied, go and hand them the tools to capture their stools. It's not in the toilet, so guys, let's not spoil it. Dig it. Let's go. To the John. It's on. The air was soon pierced with profanity fierce. I still remember the sight that December dark night of the look on Jen's face and my new girlfriend Grace. I held up the cracked wood. It didn't look good. It couldn't be mended, and the party then ended. There was much freaking out, and we all got kicked out. Sitting in her front yard, my crew thought real hard about where we'd go now and what time might allow. So Perkins was the place that my new girlfriend Grace and my friends went to eat. It was just down the street. After all this while, Jen and I still smile. Her parents were mad, and I felt real bad. But we could never really fight about that weird night, and it was sorta funny, so our friendship stays sunny. You cry and you laugh, and you look in the mirror. The table is gone, but she and I are still here. Baby, not all can say that before their first day, they were told what to do, but I'm talking to you. You haven't been born yet before your first morn. You may be in a slumber, but we're calling your number. It's time to get going. Your body is growing. Your older sister and your mom and her mister want to show you the world. Get your body uncurled. I don't want to be neggy, though your sweet mother Maggie is ready to see you. What a privilege to be you. You're there in her womb, but a delivery room would be the best place for your small unborn face. Your poor young mom is a ticking time bomb. She's ready to blow. Girl, you gotta go. The real world is calling, so quit all the stalling. With a hoe and a heave, you can get up and leave. The world's filled with air that we're willing to share. Give your mother a break and come out for her sake. Each chapter of life will have its own strife, but let's get it going. Your mom's sick of showing. Come jump in the water and be Maggie's daughter. Hey baby, welcome to downtown. You look like you're new around here. I may not be an Uber, Lyft, or a taxi, but I was still thinking I could pick you up here with some lines of mine. Maybe it's all these buildings, but standing here at the bus stop, I've been building up towards talking to you for some time. I'm from the suburbs. I'm not comfortable driving downtown. You could probably drive me, because your smile's driving me crazy right now. Excuse me, can I park here next to your bench? I get confused by all the postings and meters and signs down here, but I'm getting some real clear signs from you. There's a lot of businesses down here, but I was hoping to be part of your business tonight. Come on, baby, it's my way or the skyway. You don't have to pay to park in my ramp. This is the oldest part of the city. Pioneers settle down right here. Would you like to settle down with yours truly? We've been standing at this food truck forever, but I'm getting hungry for something else. This may be the red light district, but my light's green, if you know what I mean. I saw you looking both ways at the corner, but would you really go both ways? With all this fancy architecture, I was hoping we could build towards something romantic ourselves. I see your parking meter needs more quarters, but you can park back at my quarters. I could think of one way we can get to where we want to be. Look at all these street pigeons walking around, bopping and flirting with their pickup lines. Mrs. Hydrogen Girl, I know that you're married, but you fill my whole world. And sometimes I get carried all the way into space, but you can come to my place. After this corresponding, we could do some real bonding. I thought that carbon got around, but I know I've seen you compound with all kinds of elements. I know you're not celibate. You're the most common atom in the whole universe. But I've looked all at 'em, and baby, you could do worse than pairing with me. Honey, I can be real fun. I can easily see that you're number one. It's not an illusion that your chemical fusion keeps a burning star and defines who you are. Mrs. Hydrogen Girl, I know that you're married, but you fill my whole world. And sometimes I get carried way away into space, but you can come to my place. After this corresponding, we could do some real bonding. Antoine Lavoisier came up with your name, and I've heard it say that when the French came for his execution and their French Revolution, your protons lived on, though his head was all gone. These old buffoons used you for their balloons. They would take to the sky, but then when things went awry, that blimp is burning. Oh, the humanity. But what I've been learning has brought me some sanity. 'Cause Mrs. Hydrogen Girl, I know that you're married, but you fill my whole world. And sometimes I get carried away into space, but you can come to my place. After this corresponding, we could do some real bonding. I thought we could get past how you get hot so fast, but because when you're a gas, your molecular mass can make you a bother. But when I see you make water, honey, you light my fire, make me warm and inspire me to use these here coupons that I have here for neutrons. And although you could feed them, baby, you don't really need them. You've got a real affinity for electronegativity. If I made you liquefy, we could take to the sky. I've heard your own rhymes, and I've really been feeling them. Maybe one of these times we could turn into helium. Mrs. Hydrogen Girl, I know that you're married, but you fill my whole world. And sometimes I get carried way away into space, but you can come to my place. After this corresponding, we could do some real bonding. Come gather around and listen to me as I wax profound on my family tree. All life's connected the very same way, strictly directed by our DNA. We've been selected and whittled away, each gene elected by which one's the day. Together I'm bound as close as can be by some tightly wound ATC and G. To set a time frame when the world was new, carbon atoms came together like glue. In watery pools, wet, moist, and soppy, they somehow learned to make their own copy. As eons went by, they replicated, and to put it dry, more complicated. The ones that did best formed outer layers, an organic nest for life's real players. These things we call cells grew whistles and bells, and although they were brothers, some big ones ate others, and out of this strife formed bacterial life. Many stay this way, existing today, but others moved on and passed the baton to multi-celled forms and further diverged. That's how fungus, plants, and people emerged. The fittest survived and grew more advanced, and soon there arrived creatures so enhanced that some grew 2 eyes and flippered around, and some of these guys moved on to dry ground. Until then, all life lived in the sea, but land proved a fruitful place to be. A new ecosystem for brand new genes to fill new niches and unconquered scenes. Reptilian creatures, ancestor birds, and other phyla with hard-to-say words. The ones who did best grew more distinctions and further progressed past 5 main extinctions. Going back some years, 200 million, a creature appears that seemed mammalian. They secreted milk and many grew hair, and some of their ilk became quite aware that their arms and their legs along with their brains moved them up some pegs and they took the reins. Sure did. Breaking all the rules by walking upright, they developed tools to make their work light. Living in caves to keep from bad weather, they made further waves, hunting together. Discovering fire, prehistoric culture began to inspire a new agriculture. In sharing their space, they soon settled down to live in one place or even a town. Across the world there grew societies with customs and norms of all varieties. Soon people used their imaginations to make up kings and empires and nations. My own ancestors became investors in newfound steam, the American dream. For the sea they set to a new life greater, and my parents met a century later. Thus now I am here, my bones and my flesh. Let's shift back a gear and have a refresh. Deoxyribonucleic acid makes my psyche glow and feel real placid. When carbon molecules follow their heart, they can branch like a tree or even make art. So thus I have come to the end of my tale, but where I came from finally I can exhale. Okay, let's listen to that.
David, we are done.
Okay.
No
Thank
more.
you. Cool.
Alright, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.